So we are the 19th of December 2022. This video is about Russia. It's, what's happening right now in Russia is it's a disaster. It's a shame. It's pathetic. It's sad, really. It's a great country, great people, and all Russia is falling apart. It seems that the actual leader of Russia, Mr. Putin, wants and hope to have some victory in Ukraine. So I made a mini warning about attacking Ukraine before this war, during this war. What the people, most of the people don't know that I sent a message from the Lord in the beginning of March 2022, just at the beginning of the war. The message of the Lord was step for Russia, step back of Ukraine, or you will all die. There's many meanings of this message. At that time there was a danger of return of for Russia and all Europe, of course, because there was nuclear weapon involved. But the other meaning of this message from the Lord itself was simply that you will die in this holy land. And actually it happened like this. Most of the Russian soldiers were sent to Ukraine. Most of them died. And Russia want to are sending back thousands of soldiers with the same people doing the same stupid and strategy. The army of Ukraine are much better than the army of Russia now, but at the beginning it was different. They get some spiritual help and also military help, some weapons. Now they are much better and much more powerful. They have the weapons. They have the skills, the wisdom, the military wisdom that the Russian army doesn't have yet. And the Russian blood is literally bleeding, and it will, my prediction, and it will continue to be like that. Russia will have defeat after defeat in this land, and it is because of the spiritual forces in Ukraine. I unify my energy with the energy of Ukraine at the beginning of the war, and it's one of the most powerful things that could happen. And it proves in a material way ça a montré l'efficacité sur le plan matériel. Now, I was waiting for a wisdom reaction in Russia, and they are continuing this stupid attack with no wisdom, no real strategy, and is leading absolutely nowhere. I'm very sad for Russia. I was expecting some reaction, and some other country they have some difficulty and then react in a good way. For example, Israel and Iran. And in Russia, it's in this chaos. It's still the stupidity who is leading this country, and this stupid leadership is leading Russia to a disaster, more and more every day. And we see this poor innocent soldier who is paying the blood price for what? For what? For what are you fighting for? So at the beginning of the war, you have been there was a provocation from United States or NATO. I think really they wanted a war with Russia because they were aware of some weakness, or more probably they were. It was a manifestation of arrogance. It was a trap, and Russia fall in this trap, and it leads to this disaster. There's two countries you cannot attack in this world. There's Israel and Ukraine. So to attack these two countries will lead to disaster, and especially when the attack comes from stupid leadership, like they have now in Russia. It leads to the actual situation: defeat and defeat and defeat. There will be no victory for Russia in this winter. We can avoid this predictable disaster of Russian army and of Russia. The Russian Ukrainian army, they are much more better. They are better military leadership. They have a love of victory. They have confidence. They have motivation because they are defending their lands, of course. And the most important thing, they have spiritual forces, which that are helping, supporting them. And from the Russian point of view, I told them to build a new powerful army, but you need a real leader for that. And Putin is not that leader, and actually there's no leader for that in Ukraine. It is you have one man in France, and his name is Murat Michael Yashar, and it is actually talking to you. If I get this Russian army, I can make it within 1 year the most powerful army in the world. Just 1 year. You have to prepare it in many ways, and also in a spiritual way. And I can take any army in the world and make it very powerful in the material world, but also in the spiritual way. Because the ordinary preparation, you have the psychological preparation, and you have the spiritual preparation for the army. So you already know the ordinary military and psychological preparation for the army. There are some wisdom for that in some country. In Russia, there's nothing. You have to develop the ce qu'on appelle in France, we call it le génie militaire. There's a lot of very intelligent people in Russia, but these intelligent people, they will certainly not fight against Ukraine because they are smart and wise. So the best part of these people in Russia, they will certainly not follow this stupid actual leadership in Russia. So the situation is clearly blocked. The energy and the blood of Russia is literally bleeding, and that's very sad for Russia and for the world, because Russia is a big country with 150 million people, and if a great leader succeeds to structure these people, this energy available in Russia, you can be the first country in the world, the most powerful one. But you have to choose to use your freedom of choice and choose wisdom. The situation is simple, very, very simple. You have an actual leader who shows his limits. He's trying to show that he has some hope and faith in victory of Russia. Of course, he didn't believe so much in that, and he lost a lot of faith and confidence, and Putin has no real strategy for Russia and for this war, and these young people, Ukrainian and Russian people, soldiers, are dying for absolutely nothing. It's leading absolutely nowhere. Russia is born in Ukraine. You are attacking your own mother, your motherland. You should be aware of that. You are attacking your brother and sisters. There's a lot of people who have some family in Ukraine, and you are Belarus, Ukraine, and Russia. It's are connected in a powerful way. It seems that I see in the news that Belarus may be involved. I ask the Belarus, the great holy Belarus army and people not to fight, not to enter this fight, to save Russia. I ask the leadership of Wagner, I ask the leader of Kadyrov, who is not really a great leader, but who is actual leader of Chechnya, to stop to fight, to use your freedom of choice, your free will, to save Russia, the great mother Russia. If you have some love and faith for Russia, stop fighting. Please stop fighting, save the blood and energy of Russia. You must be aware that there's a great potential in Russia, and there's just like in one man to unblock all this great potential. Russia is very in a very powerful masculine energy. It's quite clear, in Russia it's very important to be a real man. Ukraine is more in a feminine energy, but in Ukraine the men they are very strong, powerful, and confident. There are a lot of great men, of course. Belarus is it's a peaceful holy land, and I have a lot of hope and for these people and land, and I ask them to choose wisdom and not to fight and to stop this war, not to be involved in this war, because it's like attacking yourself. I have some hope also in Kadyrov and Chechen army and the leadership of Wagner. I think they have some love for Russia, and maybe this love for Russia will lead to wisdom and wise decision, and to stop. Just say, we are done, we can do that, we cannot do that, we stop. So we will enter soon the 2020 year, and we can enter it for Russia in very two different paths. This new year could lead to more disaster, weakness for Russia, or to some greatness, большой, being большой, you know. and красивый. It's been beautiful. So my advice for Russia is to take a rest and think really which kind of path you want to follow for this new year. Continue this disaster in Ukraine or another path. I really don't know what you will choose, but I'm trying to help you to choose the wise wisdom path, and it's like Russia forgets its roots. They lost confidence and connection to the roots. You forget how great you can be. Mr. Zelensky said that he's a very intelligent, smart Ukrainian man. He said that in Russia they are more in a slave mentality. It's not true. The Russian people, they are really pride people. They like freedom. They are sensitive, artistic people, and they like freedom like Ukrainian people. They are very independent people, and what happened in the last century is not doesn't reveal the truth of Russia. The truth of Russia is more linked to dignity, honor, freedom, philosophy, beauty. There are a lot of great artist people in Russia, and we can find back this great Russia is actually living in Russia. There's a lot of great people there. It's just there. It's available. And the leadership in Russia should manifest this potential and accurate that. So that's all. Thank you for your attention. And be wise, be great, be beautiful. You are Russian people.